Hi folks, Canadian Prepper here. So today I want to talk about one of my biggest pet peeves in the preparedness community as it pertains to bug out bags. Let's get to it. So this idea that there's some arbitrary percentage of your body weight that somebody just concocted in their mind at one point, it's not rooted in any scientific basis whatsoever. It's just some nominal number that somebody threw out there and said, okay, yeah, we're gonna say that 20% of your body weight is ideal for a pack weight. It's one of the most useless statistics that gets thrown around in the preparedness community for three main reasons. Number one, every situation is going to be different. Everybody's capabilities are different, and everybody's level of physical fitness is different. All right, so when it comes to the ideal way to pack a backpack, it's pretty simple. You want the pack as close to your body as possible. You want that pack to be basically flush with your back. You don't want to have a lot of space between your back and the pack, because that means that that weight is way outside your center of gravity. The more heavy stuff that's further away from your body, the more energy you're gonna have to use to counterbalance. So ideally, all the heavy stuff in your pack should be in the upper torso, but close to your body. So the light stuff should be hanging off the edge here. Now, this design somewhat defies that to an extent. Most of the heavy stuff still is near my core, but there is the GUN, which of course is 7 pounds hanging off of there. So that does create some counterbalancing. So that means I'm gonna exert more energy keeping myself upright. Now, if that GUN was closer to me, then I would be able to stand here and there'd be no, I wouldn't be fighting gravity. This is where padding comes in handy and having that hip support. For me, what I usually do with hip and shoulders is I rotate. So while I'm hiking, I'll tighten up the waist belt for a little bit, so I'll bear the brunt of it on my waist, and I'm gonna start to feel the burn in my legs when I do that. When I do start feeling that lactic acid buildup in the legs, I'll loosen the hip belt and I'll take most of the weight on my shoulders. With putting the weight on your shoulders, it's not gonna be as efficient because your legs obviously are stronger. Your legs are always supporting everything, but it's gonna put more strain on your hips and it's gonna limit your mobility. So carrying the weight on your shoulders, like if I was to disconnect this, I'm gonna have a lot more mobility, ability to move in 3 dimensions, if you will, than if this hip belt is on. But I'm also gonna be burning a lot of energy doing it. So if I have to, go over a log or something like that, I might have to take this off so I can, get that extra range of motion necessary in order to get over it. That's why it's important to go out there, hike a little bit with a heavy pack through challenging terrain so you can see what's right for you. All right, so the reason why using a percentage to determine how much your pack weight should be is dumb, and it's not even useful remotely to anybody. It's not a handy rule of thumb. It does nothing for anybody whatsoever. So take the 20%, 25%, 30%, whatever you heard, throw it out the window. It's complete and utter. For three main reasons. Number one, every situation is going to be different. Everybody's capabilities are different, and everybody's level of physical fitness is different. Let's start with physical fitness. Body mass index is this idea that if you're a certain height, you should be a certain body weight. But everybody has a different stature. Everybody has a different body fat percentage. So some people are going to be a more muscular 200 pounds than a person who has a much higher body fat percentage at 200 pounds. So you can't tell me that a person who is 250 pounds is going to be able to necessarily carry more than a lean person at 200 pounds. It just makes absolutely no sense when you have Himalayan Sherpas who are maybe all of 130 pounds carrying their own body weight, if not more, uphill in low oxygen environments in the craziest conditions you could imagine. The average soldier who rucks 100 pounds with all of their gear, their plate carriers, their ammo, all that stuff, you know, their helmet, all the technology that they use nowadays, and all of the stuff in their pack, those guys are trucking 100 pounds in less than optimal conditions. I mean, they're in a battle theater. So, you know, the idea that you couldn't carry more gear just bugging out or getting home or something like that, or this notion that, you know, everybody's going to be out to get you, and it may be one of those situations where packing light is going to be important, but a lot of people project their own experience they have. It's like there's one guy on here on YouTube, he's a former Green Beret. He's got a Bugout bag video, which is fairly popular. When you watch the video, it's really just the bare essentials that he's throwing together into a very small backpack. There's really nothing profound in there about the contents or the organization of his kit. It's just a minimalist survival kit. But here's the thing. That guy has the capability to survive with very, very limited amounts of gear in very harsh climates, behind enemy lines. I mean, he's a commando, right? So not everybody is going to have that kind of capability and that skill. So he's projecting his own experience out there for you, which in some cases is going to make sense. If you are in an escape and evasion situation or just trying to get home, there's a lot of threats in that environment, then absolutely you're going to want to pack light, and it's going to make sense for you to pack a similar kit to what he has. And what's more, he's going to be very comfortable with that limited amount of gear and technology, whereas most of his audience is not. Most of the general population, were they to take his kit out into the wilderness, they would not fare well. And this is one of my biggest concerns with videos that preach that sort of minimalism, is that they're projecting their own skills and capabilities out there to the masses. The masses are not, you know, special operations Green Berets. They don't know how to survive with that minimal amount of gear in the wilderness. Even a person like myself who has some wilderness experience wouldn't want to survive with limited amount of gear if I didn't have to. And this idea that you can't bring more gear and just abandon some of it if need be, or catch some of it if you have to, is also kind of idiotic. If the pack's too heavy and you have to ditch some gear, then you ditch some gear. There's a wide spread of capabilities within our community. Some people can carry a 100-pound pack for 10 miles without taking a rest. There's people who can do that. There's other people who couldn't carry that a block if their lives depended on it. So you have to do what's right for you. And the only way you can do that is by getting out there, trying out your gear, figuring out what is your comfort range. And that's going to be entirely different for every single person. There is no rule of thumb to it. And most important is physical conditioning, because that's going to be generally applicable to any situation. It's going to give you much more range to operate within in terms of pack weight. If you only want to carry 20 pounds, carry 20 pounds. If you want to carry 60, carry 60. Now, to challenge myself, what I'm going to do, because there's a lot of people who seem to think that my packs are too heavy and I'm not going to be able to manage these pack sizes, I'm going to challenge myself in some way, shape, or form to hike, I don't know, let's say 100 kilometers with we'll go to the extreme, we'll say like a 100-pound backpack or something like that. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it over varied terrain. I don't know how much time I'm going to give myself, but I'm going to do it just to prove a point that it really depends on your fitness level. And I think there's a big danger in carrying less gear and then finally reaching a campsite or a destination and not having the capability to live, first of all, but also to live in some measure of comfort. Now, I know you're not trying to create a 5-star hotel out there in the wilderness, but you still want to keep your sanity. And if your living environment is comfortable enough that it brings you some sanity, then I think that's a good thing, and that's worth packing a little bit of extra gear for. So this romanticism about minimalism in get-home bags, I think, is unfounded. Once again, I'm not trying to throw shade at any particular channel out there. If anything, I give people respect for their capabilities if they're able to carry a small bag. But not everybody is a senior member of the Pathfinder School or Dave Canterbury themselves, where they can go out with just the 5 C's and survive for a prolonged period of time. Most people are going to get hurt if they try to do something like that. So today I'm sporting the Trident 31 by VanQuest. This is actually my gym bag, backpack bag. I guess you could call it like an EDC bag. The Markor 45 is the bailout bag. That's like the survival bag. Or, you know, I'm heading out into the woods and I don't want to have to always pack my gear. It's always in the truck type bag that I could potentially live out of for, you know, many days, if not many weeks. Now, this is just my EDC pack. It's a great pack. It's got a lot of cool organization features. If you guys really want, I can do a more in-depth breakdown of that. In my opinion, it's a better everyday backpack for, you know, urban use, and it's got a lot of features which make it a really ideal gym bag as well. So if you want me to go into greater depth about that, I can do that. Let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy the video. Canadian Prepper out. I've been wearing this pack ever since I've been filming here. Probably did 2 or 3 takes of this video. It's been around half an hour. It still feels fine on my back. Okay, so I'm gonna jump on this Diamondback tonneau cover to prove to you that, you know, some people can do this. You can do it too if you get in shape. It's not that hard. £60-pound backpack, 1,600-pound tonneau cover. The best way to support this YouTube channel is to support yourself by gearing up through CanadianPreparedness.com or BugoutRoll.ca. Premium quality gear at the best possible price using the incredibly secure and easy to use Shopify platform. We offer free shipping to the United States for orders over $200 USD and free shipping to Canada over $75. So support the channel by supporting yourself.